Good morning, everybody. It is obvious that the excitement of Simbang Gabi is already gone. We are in the middle of the Christmas season. It didn't start on September 1 with the singing of Jose Marichan. It started on Christmas Eve. And we are at the height of the Christmas season. It's called the Christmas Octave, which means that every day in these 8 days, from Christmas to the Solemnity of Mary, Mother of God, is Christmas Day. And that's why we pray the glory each and every day in this Christmas octave. But the culture is very hard to eradicate. And as Evangelii Nunciandi said many years ago in 1974, the first object of evangelization that we need to grapple with is the culture. The culture is very, very much affected by what goes on around us. People now get used to stories of war. We're not bothered by the war in Ukraine anymore. Nobody is having sleepless nights about the war in Gaza, in Lebanon, in Syria. We just take it as a matter of fact, and we're not bothered by it. So Pope Francis is correct in saying that World War III is already raging, piecemeal, unti-unti, gera dito, gera patanay doon, may nag-aaway dito, may bomba doon. World War III is going on. And that bully country northwest of us is favoring, of course, Indonesia, because they're spending a lot of money in Indonesia. They are looking favorably at Vietnam because Vietnam cooperates with them. But the Philippines is protesting, and therefore we are their favorite whipping boy. So today, I'm saying this because I'm trying to lay down the groundwork for good news. And good news, by way of contrast, becomes more visible when we see the reality around us, when we are not denying what is dark, in order for us to appreciate more the light and to work for the light and to hold on to the one who is the light of all nations. So today, curiously enough, the first reading from Sirach favors the Father, talks about the Father. The Mother is not mentioned in the first reading, and talks about honoring the Father. And I think it fits us to a T, our culture, because the fact is, most of those who come to Mass all over the country are women. Those who serve in parish councils are all women. Those who are teaching catechism are all women. Those who are surrounding the priests and the clergy are all women. The men are nowhere to be found. The men are busy with other things. Well, I have to tell you honestly that I prefer the Masses here because in our parish, I see more families coming to church than in the other parishes I go to. Pero nangongonti na rin. 15 years ago, 10 years ago, the 7:30 a.m. Mass was a family Mass, and I remember that. I used to complain about noisy children. Now I complain about dogs na pinapaupo sa silya. Hindi na bata ang aking inaangal, kundi mga aso. Aso ngayon ang paborito ng mga gaya-gaya ang Pilipino kasi yun ang nakikita nila kay I forget names, yung nagpunta dyan ng bendisyonan yung towers. Gusto niya ng may-ari niya yung malalaking matataas na building dyan sa may SM Bikutan. Azure. And the girl is the one who started the trend of carrying dogs in a bag. I cannot remember her name. Hilton, something like that. Paris Hilton. Okay, got it. So, today the first reading honors the Father, but mentions the Mother. Only one line. The Mother's authority. But by and large, it was a paean to the glories of the Father. 50 years ago, all over the country, the men were coming to church, all right. But as soon as the priest stands at the pulpit, yung umaakit pa nung araw, may pulpit sa tabi ng simbahan. Wala, hindi dito, mayroong pulpit na kasi walang sound system. When the priest goes up to the pulpit, then the men go out, naninigarilyo pagka-homily. Lahat sa buong Pilipinas, 50 years ago, 40 years ago. Now I don't see it anymore, but there are less and less men coming to church. And they're busy with other things, I don't know what. In fact, I find it awkward sometimes that during wedding anniversaries, it's the woman who comes up to be blessed. Nasaan yung asawa mo? Ay, ayaw kong sumama. Ay, paano ko kayo bibindisyonan? So, remote. Dapat ganyan ang kamay ko, ikaw para sa iyo, at doon sa asawa mo nasa SM Bikutan. Ganyan ang kultura natin. But then, let's go back to the good news. In the second reading, St. Paul, writing to the Colossians, talked about us putting on virtue. Nowadays, 50 years ago, people were coming to Mass in their Sunday best. Yung tawag namin sa Cavite, meniben, pang meniben, damit na pang meniben. Actually, ibig sabihin ng meniben, main event. Pero Tagalog ng lola ko ay meniben. Pang meniben yung suot mo. Ngayon hindi. Magsisimba, akala mo galing sa kama. Bagong gising, nakakorto, nakachinelas. Pero magandang klaseng chinelas sa bayanas. Pero chinelas pa rin. Okay. So, nung araw ay pang meniben, sinusuot pagka Pasko. Ngayon kahit maski pops, kahit bagong gising, amoy kama pa, hindi pa nagmumumog, hindi pa nagsisigarilyo, hindi pa nagsisipilyo, sorry. But St. Paul talks about putting on virtue, and then he enumerates the virtues: compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience. And then he tops it off with one word. Above all these, he talks about love. The surpassing quality of love, which he calls the bond of perfection. Kailangan nating lahat ito. Bakit? Ang mga tao ngayon, wapakels. Bala kayo dyan. Walang pakialam. Nakahazard. Ang rule ngayon sa batas ng Pilipinas, pagka nakahazard, nakabalandra sa daan, pero nakahazard. Pero nakabalandra pa rin sa daan, nakabara. Bala kayo dyan. Bubusina ka. Dito sa India, titigil. I always turn right because I'm teaching in the seminary. Pag busina ko, titingnan lang o hindi pa titingin. Bala ka dyan. Nakabara. Okay. Ganyan ang kultura natin ngayon. The Lord reminds us what it means to be a Christian. Put on the virtues of compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Kung hindi nyo napansin, araw-araw may aksidente sa SLEX. Kahapon ang aksidente, 2 truck na ang dala ay nag-uumapaw na Emperador Brandy. Bumalandra sa exit ng sukat. Kaya isa lang ang pwedeng daanan. Nag-uunahan yata yung 2 truck ng MP Light. Sa paghahanap ng kagitnasan sa loop ang nawala. Overloaded. Lahat ng mga, meron pang namatay sa somewhere in Quezon City or in Metro Manila dahilan sa truck na nakamot lang ng ulo yung driver at nawalan daw siya ng preno. Maintenance lang yan Wapakels, walang pakialam. Tapos magkakamot ng ulo, nakamatay ka ng 3 tao. Hindi nakukuha sa kamot ng ulo yan. Yung naghahanap ng kagitnasan sa lupang nawala, gusto kumita ng malaki, Emperador Brandy, overloaded, nagtilapon sa sukat exit. Kung kaya malaking katakot-takot na trapiko. Today we're reminded about what is right. Kailan tayo matututo na ang political dynasty ang dahilan kung bakit tayo laging nananatiling mahirap na bansa? Sila lang yung mayaman. Yung namimigay daw ng lupa at isinasalaksak sa budhi ng mga hampas lupa at walang utang na loob dahil namigay ng lupa. Pero ibinoboto pa rin. Mga pamilyang pare-parehong ipilido, tagdalwa sa Senado, 3 sa Congress, at tayo nabubudol. At hanggang ngayon, wapakels. Today, we are told what it means. To be a Christian, it begins in the family, the Holy Family. And if you might want to hear a little bit of the unusual from me, then I'll tell you, medyo masakit ang sinabi ng nanay sa kanyang anak. 3 araw na nawala ang binatilyong si Jesus. Naghahanap, balisang-balisa ang mag-asawa. At ang sabi ng nanay, medyo may konting paninikmat. If you understand my Tagalog, may konting tampo. Anak, anong ginawa mo sa amin? Your father and I have been looking for you. You were lost for 3 days. But then, the son was individuating. This is the technical term from counseling, family psychology. The 12-year-old boy was individuating. He was describing his mission, and without being disrespectful to the mother, "Don't you know," he said, "that I must be about my father's business." Alam niya na meron na siyang clue, meron na siyang pahimakas kung ano ang kanyang misyon na kanyang inaakap, kanyang pinananagutan, kanyang inaako, at sinabi niyang, "Don't you know, I must be about my father's business." Family life is never perfect. I know, even if I don't have children of my own, I come from family. All of us came from families. And we know very well that hindi lahat ng gusto natin ay maibibigay ng magulang natin. I never forgot what I heard so many times. My father never drank, my father never gambled, my father never even went out to eat in restaurants. He was working hard. And when we were children, we were kind of offended by him because yung aming pinapasan ng mga sayote, mga papaya mula sa bukid sa Tagaytay, pinamimigay sa kapitbahay sa Makati. At hindi namin maintindihan kung bakit yung pinaghirapan namin ay ipinamimigay. And now I realize as an adult, a full-blown adult and a senior citizen, lahat kami magkakapatid ay pareho niya. And up until now, yung aming sinisisa sa kanyang napaka-generous, we are all the same. That's what we saw. That's what we put on. That's what we heard and saw. So, my dear friends, family life is never perfect. There is no perfect family, yes. But there is good news for families right now. And that family is be about the Father's business. The Father's business, and that is God's business, take precedence over everything else. This is the family, the human family is where the rubber meets the road. This is where the challenge of Christian life becomes real or make-believe. It is not something to romanticize. It is something to actualize, to do, to accept. Accept the reality of family as imperfect, but accept the reality of a family called to perfection, called to holiness, called to be like the family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. And how do we do that? St. Paul tells us, put on a little more compassion. Wag puro kita ang hanap. Wag puro emperador light ang hanap. Yun, nabasag ang mga MP light. Maraming hindi malalasing ngayong bagong taon. Put on compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. And above all, put on love, the bond of all perfection. We've got our homeworks clarified for us, for you and me. Whether you have a family, whether you have children, you're called to love, which is the bond of perfection.